Vester once believed his life would follow a clean, respectable line. He would conduct research that mattered, contribute something tangible to the world, and do so in service of the great heroic King Gazelle. That belief shaped his youth, sharpened his ambitions, and quietly fed his pride. But reality rarely respects intention. Instead of becoming a scholar recognized for discovery, Vester became a minister of the armed nation of Dwargon, inheriting a path carved by his father rather than one forged by his own hands. And from the moment that happened, something inside him began to rot. He was never suited for politics. He lacked his father's cool-headed patience and could never command the natural authority King Gazelle wielded without effort. Research was the only thing that truly belonged to him. It was the one space where he felt honest, competent, alive. Yet even that was treated as a pastime, a noble's indulgence rather than a vocation. His future was already decided. A ministerial seat, ceremonial influence, little real impact. He would serve, but never matter. Then there was Kaijin. Kaijin was everything Vester was not supposed to be. A commoner, a blacksmith's son, and yet chosen to lead the top-secret magic armor soldier project. He possessed wide-ranging knowledge, tireless dedication, and the rare ability to earn genuine loyalty from his staff. He could be hot-headed, but no one doubted his competence. Least of all Vester. That was the problem. Vester did not resent Kaijin because he was a commoner. He resented him because Kaijin deserved his success. Kaijin produced results. Kaijin served the king directly through his craft, and every achievement Kaijin earned reminded Vester of his own limitations. One had freedom through skill, the other had status without purpose. The pressure worsened when Vester's father fell ill. Time collapsed. The future rushed toward him. If he failed to distinguish himself soon, he would inherit responsibility without recognition, authority without impact. He would live and die without King Gazelle ever truly noticing him. That fear twisted into impatience. Kaijin insisted the project move slowly, carefully. Spirit cores were unstable, dangerous, central to everything they were building. But Vester overrode him. He forced an experiment. He chose speed over wisdom. The result was catastrophic. A spirit core went out of control. The project collapsed. Years of work vanished in an instant. The magic armor soldier project was terminated, erased before it could ever see the light of day. In the aftermath, Vester was numb. And then, quietly, the machinery of nobility began to turn. His family intervened. Responsibility shifted. Kaijin left the military, bearing the weight of failure alone. Vester became a minister. It should have felt like vindication. Instead, it hollowed him out. He could not apologize properly, not from where he stood. Worse, he became aware of something ugly within himself. The only satisfaction he felt anymore came from pestering Kaijin, provoking him, reminding himself he still had some power. It was petty. He knew it, and yet he lived that way for far too long. Years later, something unexpected happened. Without ceremony or calculation, Vester apologized, not as a political act, not as damage control, just an honest, belated attempt to acknowledge the harm he had caused. Kaijin reacted with confusion, then laughter. He had already forgiven Vester long ago. The apology landed not as closure, but as revelation. The wound Vester carried had been self-inflicted for years. By then, Vester's life had changed again. Tempest was not Dwargon. Sir Rimuru was not King Gazelle. Where Gazelle ruled through tradition and authority, Rimuru ruled through instinct and momentum. When Rimuru assigned Vester the task of educating monsters, teaching reading, writing, arithmetic, even manners, Vester's first thought was disbelief. Manners, for monsters. It sounded absurd. The abacus Rimuru provided seemed like a novelty at best. It was not. The monsters learned eagerly. Female goblins led by Shuna practiced comportment with seriousness and pride. The males learned how to receive guests politely, aware of how frightening their appearances could be. None of them treated learning as an obligation. They treated it as opportunity. Against his expectations, Vester found the work engaging, fulfilling. He stayed longer than agreed. He kept teaching even after the initial goal was met. In time, the monsters built him a research lab in the sealed cave. It was minimal, almost Spartan, but it was his. And with that space came something he thought he had lost forever: the joy of inquiry. He partnered with Gabil, a dragonute whose unconventional thinking reignited Vester's curiosity. Together they explored ideas freely, unburdened by court politics or inherited expectations. For the first time since the disaster years ago, Vester felt genuinely content. That peace did not last. Working closely with Tempest's inner mechanisms exposed him to things he could not ignore. In Sir Rimuru's private lab, he witnessed the creation of physical bodies for hundreds of demons, archdemons among them, names being granted, power being distributed on a scale that defied conventional military logic. To Vester's trained eye, it was not merely research. It was mass production of potential war power. He was bound by agreements, by discretion, by political reality. But he was also still a Marquis of Dwargon. And with that title came obligation. If something went wrong and he had remained silent, he would never forgive himself. He confided carefully in Kaijin, abstractly, indirectly. Even so, Kaijin reacted strongly. He thought Vester was exhausted, overthinking, escaping reality as he always had under stress. He urged rest, avoidance, anything but involvement. But the knowledge would not loosen its grip. Vester wrestled with the question that haunted him: report or remain silent? If he told King Gazelle everything, disbelief would follow. Rumors of instability, doubt seeded by intermediaries, his credibility eroded, and yet silence felt like betrayal. Advice came from unexpected places. Dino, casual and unapologetic, offered a solution devoid of heroics. Pass the responsibility along. File the report, but let someone else carry the consequences. It was cynical. It was pragmatic, and under the influence of drink, it sounded reasonable. When sober, it still did. Vester filed the report. As anticipated, it was not believed. The agent who received it questioned his condition, his judgment. Official records were created. Magical call logs preserved the exchange. Scrutiny followed, not toward Vester, but toward the intermediary. The unnamed agent absorbed the backlash, exactly as Dino predicted. Later, verification would come. Quietly, slowly, long after the immediate damage had passed. No one accused Vester of negligence. No one punished him for silence. He had fulfilled his duty, imperfectly but genuinely. In the end, what defined Vester was not brilliance or cowardice, but persistence. He failed catastrophically once and carried that failure for years. He allowed envy to dictate his actions and paid for it with his integrity. Yet he also apologized when it was no longer useful. He taught when the task seemed beneath him. He reported when silence would have been safer. His life did not resolve into triumph. It settled into something quieter: honest work, hard-earned peace, and the awareness that responsibility is rarely heroic. It is tedious, awkward, often thankless, and sometimes it is enough.